Okay, 3B, welcome to the next little part of revision. I remember something that we all really struggled with in term 2 when we're doing this stuff is representing fractions on a number line. And I think we struggled because we forgot that there's no such thing as fractions. Okay, fractions don't exist. All that we can do, the best we can do, is to make a model of a fraction. You can show that very easily. I can draw a rectangle here, and I can draw a rectangle here, and I can cut this one in half, and I can cut this one in half. And you can see that even though that they both show half, clearly this one is a smaller half than this one. But yet they're both half. How is that possible? Well, it's possible because fractions don't exist. It's okay that they're not the same size. They're both still showing a half. So, with that in mind, let's look at the number line below. I want you to pause the video and draw this number line. Okay, it starts here, goes along here, stops here, and it starts at 0 and it ends at 1. So draw this now and pause the video. Okay, you should have drawn it. I think I said that backwards. Anyways, what we struggled with last year is I would give you something like this. I'd make you draw the number line, then I'd give you a half, and I'd say, where on the number line should that go? Put your answer down now. Where do you think on the number line that should go? Hopefully you said that the half should go literally at the halfway point. Halfway between 0 and 1. You'd be correct. That's a good way to show half on the number line. Okay, what if I gave you something like a quarter? Where should you put 1/4? Where would a quarter go? Look at the number line as a whole and think, what is 1/4 of that number line? And the 1/4 mark would be here. If that's 1/4 and this is a half, then this means that this is 3/4. 3/4. And I can show this part here as 1 whole, or 1/1. Okay, so with that in mind, if you don't get any of this, restart the video, go back and watch it again. But if you're with me so far, let's move to slide number 2. Okay, I'm going to write some fractions at the top, and then I want you to copy the whole thing down in your book and try to solve it, and then push play and see if you did it right. So I want you to give me a half. I want you to give me a tenth. I want you to give me 2/3. I want 1 whole. Oh, I think I gave you the answer. 1/1. Show me where 1/1 is. Show me 0/1. And show me 3/4. Where's 3/4 on the number line? Okay, pause the video and solve it. And when you come back, I'll give you the answers. Okay, welcome back 3B. Let's just start from left to right and put our fractions on the number line. The first one is a half. So I'm just going to find the halfway point, boop, and write half. There we go, 1/2. That looks a little confusing, doesn't it, the way the line is written like that. You know what, maybe I'll erase this. And maybe I'll do this. I'll just do one. Oh, sorry guys. Let me get a different color. How about blue? Okay. Alright. 1/2. There we go. 1/2. That looks alright. Good. We've done 1/2 tick. Okay. 1/10. Well, if I look at the number line as a whole, I imagine dividing it into tens, making it 10 parts, then it's probably going to be quite small. It's definitely going to be smaller than a half. It's definitely going to be smaller than a quarter. I can kind of estimate, but I think right about here would be a tenth. So I'm going to call that 1/10. That little blue line, that blue line there is 1/10. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Okay, tick. Alright, next one, 2/3. 2/3. Well, let's imagine dividing the line into thirds. A third of it is going to be less than a half, but 2/3 would put us a little further than a half, a little bit further. So I would have put 2/3 right about here. 2/3. 2/3. Cool. 1/1 I gave away the answer to. 1/1 just represents 1 whole, which is just here. So 1 whole would be here. So if you put like 1/1 like that, cool beans, jelly beans. The opposite is also true. If you have 0 over 1, you have nothing. You have no parts of 1. If you have no part of 1, or no part of 10, or no part of a billion, you have no parts. You got nothing. 0. So that goes over here. 0 over 1. You got nothing. And the last one, 3/4. 3/4. There's a trick to doing 3/4. If you do the half, and then you do half of the half, that gives you 1/4. Then do the same thing on the other side. Do half of the half like that. And now you've magically divided your line into quarters. You have 1/4, 2/4, 3/4, 4/4. 4/4 is a whole, so we must have done it right. So which of these big green lines is 3/4? That one. All right, good job. If you got stuck and you don't get it, go back and watch it again. Okay, you can't continue if you don't get it. Let's do the last one. Okay, the last one. Now I've tricked you. Haha. My number line starts at 0, goes to 1, and keeps going. It goes to 2. So that must mean that some of these fractions are going to be between the 0 and the 1, and some of these fractions at the top are going to be between the 1 and the 2, and you have to try to figure it out. I'll read them to you now. The first fraction you need to put on the line is 1/4. The next you have to put on is 2 2s. The next you have to find is a half. The next you have to find is 1 1/2. The next is 3/4, and then a 1/12. Pause the video, or well, yeah, draw this in your book, then pause the video and put them on the number line. When you push play, I'll give you the answers. Here we go. You ready? Have you done all the work? Your number line's all filled in? No cheating. Here we go. 1/4. 1/4 is the same as it was before. It's just 1/4. It's 1/4 of representing the distance between 0 and 1 on the number line. So I would put, I always do the half first. I know it might seem like I'm getting ahead of myself, but I do the half and then do half of the half, and that is my 1/4. So 1/4 should be there. Tick, done. 2 over 2. Well, I have 2 over 2, so I have 1 whole of something. I have a complete whole. I have 1 whole. Where is 1 whole? If I have 2 over 2, I have a full thing. So I have 1 whole. 1 whole is, of course, right here. I bet I tricked some of you. I bet a lot of you thought that it was down here at this end because it says 2. And you're like, well, that says 2 and that says 2, so it must be 2. Well, we're talking with fractions here, guys, so 2 over 2 is 1 whole. So that sits there. Crazy, huh? Yeah. Okay, a half. A half is next. Well, I used a half to help me get to 1/4, so a half is here. This is where half lives. Half. The next one, 1 1/2. 1 1/2. The 1 here tells me I need to at least get up to my 1 and then go half more. So 1 1/2 is here. 3/4. 3/4. I've already found 1/4. I've already found a half, which is 2/4, right? So I just need 1 more 1/4 here, which is 3/4. So 3/4 lives here in the number line. And then the 1/12. Is that a big or a small amount? Hopefully you said small. Small amount. Only a little bit, a 1/12. A 1/12 of a pizza is not much pizza. So the 1/12 goes, I would say, probably like there. That's probably a 1/12. 1/12. All right. Give yourself a pat on the back. If you didn't get it, go back and watch it again. If you've done well, then you have completed the YouTube revision, and you can go on to the problem solving. Make sure you fill out all the stuff on style. Good job, 3B.